We've got Super Frankie Lampard. He knows exactly what we need. Wow. Okay. Well, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Canary. And it looks like, at time of recording, that Frank Lampard, I can't believe I'm saying this, Frank Lampard is going to become Norwich City's next manager. Wow. Me and Joe obviously did a video about Ketil Knutson recently and said, or Knutson, and said, there's no way Frank Lampard will be in charge of Norwich City. It's not a Stuart Webber managerial appointment whatsoever. And how wrong we are. His name wouldn't go away. And it looks like, not confirmed as of yet, but it looks like he's coming to Carroll Road. Wow, this is going to be fascinating. Obviously, just seeing Steven Gerrard be appointed by Villa. The Lampard-Gerrard rivalry on December will be fascinating. We will now be Frank Lampard's Norwich City. Might give us a bit of an easier ride in the media, but wow. So let's go through the positives first to try and be as positive as possible, because personally, I don't really want him in charge, but I can see why Webber's gone for him. You look at it and say, look, we're going down anyway. Under Daniel Farke, he wasn't, unfortunately, and isn't at the moment good enough to be as a Premier League manager with our club who needs to build. I don't think Frank Lampard is either, but what Frank does is offer us a whole new kind of reset and a big ambition. This guy will be desperate to succeed after the Chelsea disappointment of being sacked kind of midway through the season, and then what they went on to do win the Champions League. I think that probably would have hurt him even more. And it's kind of a win-win, really, for Norwich. Like I say, we're going down anyway. If you go down with an absolute whimper with him, then you just get rid of him in the summer. I think there'll probably be a talk there where he won't want to be in the Championship for too long. So if that does happen, then we'll just let him go. And if he does somehow miraculously keep us up, then it's the most inspired Stuart Webber piece of business ever. Huge name, completely changes our stature of the club for now. He is bigger than our football club, which I didn't think we'd see under Stuart Webber. I didn't think his ego would be able to take someone bigger than him in charge of predominantly his football club, because he makes all the decisions. But he has done it. It's fascinating one. Lampard has so much to prove. Obviously, with that Derby squad, some people said he did well. I personally think he underachieved. I think it was a better squad than what we had when we went up with like Tamori, Mounts, Harry Wilson. We spent a lot of money on that Derby team. None of them players are there now. He won't have that much money as well. I think that's something to look at, especially this season. This is pretty much the squad you're going to get. He's going to have to get the best out of Billy Gilmore, which is a whole problem. I think Todd will absolutely run through walls for him. That's probably what Stuart Webber's thinking. Ketil Knutson seemed to be the guy that they did seem to want. He was not budged until January. And then what do? You kind of have to go for your next choice. That does seem to be Frank. Jody Morris is fantastic as an assistant. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he does come as well, because he is kind of the tactics man, knows everything or knew everything about the youth team because he went through the Chelsea development stages. So any kind of up-and-coming youth products, Jody Morris will be on that. He is the smarter of the two. Lampard's more of the name. Almost you're bringing back to the Culverhouse-Lambert days where Lampard, I imagine, be the more motivator. He's not that tactically sound. That is what worries me defensively. Both of his teams he's had have been poor, which, again, those are the slight negatives you look at. But we were poor anyway. Under Daniel Farke, we were going down anyway. So maybe this does just give those players who had gone into that lull a little bit of a reboot, really. The new players as well, Rasica, Norman, everyone knows who Frank Lampard is. I think that will temporarily at least give Norwich City and their players a big boost in the games we've got coming up. Southampton at home. Oh wow, the reception for him will be amazing as well. I know there's supporters that are unsure about it, but look, we've got a free hit for the rest of the Premier League season. I hate that term, but we have, really, in terms of we were going down. Let's give Frank a chance. I don't think he's going to be that great, but we'll see. It's certainly not going to be boring. It's not going to be a Chris Hughton boring appointment, boring football, and just boring lull of, oh, he's gone again. This will be a pure kind of little media storm, really. Chelsea fans will be absolutely loving it. We will be looking at kind of the bigger picture now and seeing, is this more short term from Webber? And then we look at maybe someone in the summer if it does fail. It's going to be fascinating to watch. Really, really interesting. He will kind of play the youth players, as we saw at Chelsea. Obviously, had that transfer embargo for the first season. Billy Gilmore will be absolutely delighted to come out of his situation where he obviously wasn't Daniel Farke's kind of cup of tea. There was obviously a bit of an issue there, and he was unhappy, and he was going to go back to Chelsea. I don't have any doubt about that in January now. I think he's probably going to be one of those first names on the team sheet, because Frank absolutely loves him. and he looks perfect fit for that Norwich system if Todd's not playing in that more advanced role. I thought Lee Malou was brilliant against Brentford. Norman was as well. I think you have to kind of keep those two. Be fascinating to see what happens with Kenny McLean. Like I say, Todd will absolutely bounce off this. I think with his kind of ambition and kind of ego, I think he'll love that there's a manager who's massive now, and he will get the best out of players who we haven't seen from Daniel Farke. So it'll be a fascinating kind of whole look on everything. He likes to play football possession based. I think at times with Derby that did really shoot him in the foot, got them to the playoff final, then bottled it. There was sometimes strange decision choices. A lot of Derby fans have said, and he did okay. That's the overall summary. Chelsea first season, let's be fair, he did very well with the squad he had. It was not expected to get top four. He did well to get there. The second season then came along, and you could see that he's not an elite level manager by any stretch of the imagination. He might go on and become that. I don't really see it. Like I say, tactically, I think he could leave us very, very open at times, and there's not going to be that much structure. But there is a good philosophy in place at Norwich with what Daniel Farke has brought over the last 4.5 years of kind of that passing football, that mentality from the youth system all the way up to the first team. I won't need that much work in terms of what he wants philosophy-wise. But it's fascinating to see, do we press? Do we counter-attack? Or are we just going to try and keep the ball and really, Lampard's ego is going to come into place and really try and dominate a league, because both the teams he's had have been upper echelon in their leagues. Derby, like I say, were expected to get top six. They finished fifth the season before. Lampard with Chelsea finished third, I believe. So and then obviously after with Lampard coming in, finished sixth with Derby and then fourth with Chelsea. He's not ever been in this situation in his playing career, not really at West Ham. And then with Chelsea, I mean, he's got no experience of this. So it's going to be fascinating. I just see it as Webber's tried to get Knutson in. It's just not going to work. And he's had to go, right, okay, what can we do here? Let's think about this. There's not really, in terms of Webber's philosophy and ambition, there's no bigger name currently available than Lampard, who wants to play nice football, will get a boost behind the players. So maybe that's what we're thinking. A little bit more short term. Very unlike Webber. This appointment is absolutely amazed me, really. I was going to say baffled, but I can see the logic, some of the logic behind it. It is an amazing, really, turn of style, because 4 years ago, he would never have gone for Frank Lampard, never in a million years. Before I went for Daniel Farke, the kind of the man, very low. No one ever heard of him, and I think a lot of us were expecting that again. But now Norwich in the Premier League, I don't think this happens either in the Championship. This is because it's the Premier League. This is because you need big names to try and really get a hold of those players. The Normans, the Rasica, the Jollies, the new players that have come in. They would never come to us in the Championship. These players need to be boosted by a big figurehead and someone with a big ambition and a big ego. To be fair, you've got to have a massive ego if you're Frank Lampard and be at that top level for his whole career, basically. Magnificent midfielder, one of the best we've ever seen. And it'll be so interesting to see how he develops some of our midfielders and see if they can kind of pick things up from him and see what he does, really. It's going to be so fascinating to watch. It won't be boring. Let us know in the comments below what you're thinking. I can see every argument for this, why people are excited and why people are like, absolutely not. I'm more on the edge of this is risky, or was on the edge of this is risky, and why. I'm not a massive fan of him, but I can see why Stuart Webber, over the last few days, I can see exactly what he's thinking. Big name, try and get the best out of the players you've got, because he's not got much, he's not going to have any money really in January, and let's see where we go. It's a roll of the dice, and if it ends horrendously, then there must be a clause in the contract at the end of the season just to say, look, let's just part ways, and unfortunately it didn't work. If he somehow keeps us up, then he's going to be heralded as the next best English manager coming up again. He's revived himself from Chelsea, horror show. That's what all the clickbait media articles will be about. I can't see it really, but it's going to be fascinating to watch. Southampton's going to be, it'll be a big boost, I think, to have a new manager, a new voice, and just to see how it will go. I think it's going to be very fascinating. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you think. Like this video if you've liked it. Subscribe if you're new around here. There's going to be a lot more Frank Lampard, Norwich City. We'll wait and see how it goes. I'll see you in the next one.